Hello and welcome to all. Daniel Hernández, 24 years old, is a rapper who made himself known as 6IX9INE, a surprising stage name as much as his character. In recent years, he has become more popular than ever because of many controversies, including legal disputes. Indeed, accused of 17 counts, the fearful rap artist has chosen to collaborate with the justice system in order to avoid being sentenced to a heavy prison term. Thus, he ratted out the members of his gang, called Nine Trey Gangsta Bloods, who have been seeking revenge against him ever since. Today, after spending less than 2 years in prison, 6IX9INE returned home earlier than expected due to the coronavirus pandemic in the United States. However, he remains under threat from his former gang mates. But rather than keeping a low profile, the rapper, also known as Tekashi 6IX9INE, decided to make a name for himself, not without consequences. So, 6IX9INE was right to rat out his gang? That's what we'll find out today. It's well known, 6IX9INE is a Brooklyn rapper with long rainbow braids who has experienced a meteoric rise at the end of 2017. Propelled by his title, Gummo, of Mexican and Puerto Rican origin, 6IX9INE was obviously trying to play on the gang imagery that marked Californian rap in the 80s and 90s. Tattooed from head to toe and opting for multicolored teeth, the rapper has in 1 year only managed to attract a good number of people. After a series of collaborations with several renowned artists, his career was nevertheless briefly put on hold. Indeed, on the 18th of November 2018, 6IX9INE was arrested by the New York Federal Police on suspicion of being part of an ultra-violent criminal organization and accumulated a large amount of police custody. 17 counts. The federal authorities therefore took the opportunity to make a deal with 6IX9INE. If he gave information about the Gangsta Bloods and the logistical details of the illegal trafficking that was taking place in New York, the firm would agree to withdraw certain files from his trial, such as the child abduction case observed in 2015. Now facing a 37-year prison sentence, 6IX9INE agreed to provide all the necessary information about the gang to which he belonged. At the opening of his trial, 6IX9INE, called to the bar, denounced 2 members of the Nine True Blood, Anthony Harv Ellison and Aljeremiah Nuke, claiming that the former assaulted him in July 2018. He said the man and an accomplice forced him into a stolen car, where they beat him and then drove him home to Brooklyn. They would also have stolen a bag full of jewels from him. A scene far from what the young man tells in his songs. The star talked regularly about his life as a gangster. His clips also highlight the ultra-violence in which he was evolving. He explained at the trial that he had joined the Nine True Bloods for his career, his street credibility and the protection it offered. However, the trial revealed that Daniel Hernández was above all an effective way for the gang to make money and that he was regularly the target of mockery. Determined not to go it alone, the boy also claimed that Trippie Redd, an artist with whom he had a long-standing rivalry, was also a gang member. The 5'9" Brims, linked to the Nine True Bloods. He also claimed that international rapper star Cardi B was also a gang member. The young rapper's statements could well have been damaging to the superstar of the moment, since the charges in question were brought in court in sworn testimony. The singer's record label, anxious to put out the fire, immediately denied the information. After revealing other vital information about her former gang, its activities and its enemies, 6IX9INE was sentenced to only 2 years in prison. He was convicted of racketeering, use of firearms and trafficking in illegal substances. Facts related to shootings and assaults that occurred in New York City while he was a member of the dangerous gang of Nine True Bloods. He was also sentenced to 5 years probation, 300 hours of community service and a fine of $35,000, which must correspond to the amount of the bundles he threw in his clips, having no regrets about betraying his own gang's rules. However, these charges are unlikely to improve the much tarnished image of Tekashi 6IX9INE, now considered a rat by a large part of the future hip-hop industry. We can call him a rat, and Californian rapper YG even dedicated his single Stop Snitchin'. And the consequences don't stop there for the young rapper. Several members of his gang have the firm intention of taking their revenge. Aware of the danger, 6IX9INE does not seem to fear reprisals. On the contrary. As for his rapping career, if several people think that it is now definitively buried in hiding, Tekashi 6IX9INE has decided to prove them wrong without delay. Before we continue with this video, here's the question of the day. Which rap legend died in 1996? Is it? Option A, Snoop Dogg. Option B, Tupac. Option C, Dr. Dre. Write the right answer in the comments and we'll see at the end of the video if you were right. Prematurely released in early April to avoid the coronavirus epidemic in prison, Tekashi 6IX9INE was placed under house arrest with an electronic bracelet to serve the last months of his sentence. In other words, he wasted no time in getting people talking about him again. Indeed, for the promotion of his new title, 6IX9INE had the luxury of displaying his ambitions on a huge billboard in Times Square, in the center of New York. It was an opportunity for him to appear on a huge billboard in the heart of one of the busiest areas of a city he had seen grow before it collapsed, while proclaiming, full of humility, that the king is back. So, it was the king's return that the rapper's fans attended, and it had to be lavish. The video on the billboard didn't contain a teaser of the title of his new song, but just announced that it would arrive at 3 p.m. You could say that he doesn't do things by halves. Unsurprisingly, once published, his song was a huge success in a very short time, just a few hours after its release on YouTube on May 8. The music entitled Gooba already had 30 million views, which is already very impressive, but today, it counts more than 124 million views that look better than ever. The singer has chosen to mix English and Spanish in his new song, while sporting his multicolored hair. The clip, shot with several scantily clad women, shows the star with dancers in suggestive poses, little concerned about the social distancing clearly addressed to those who criticized him during his years in prison. This piece is very provocative to say the least. Indeed, 6IX9INE has taken the opportunity to mock those who regret his return and feel that he no longer has a place in rap. A few hours after the release of his new song, the rapper organized a live broadcast on the social network Instagram, in which he settled his scores with members of his old gang. He accused them of threatening, kidnapping and beating him, thus justifying his collaboration with the authorities. In addition, he acknowledged in his long monologue that he was a snitch and a cockroach, also stressing that he did not have to be loyal to the gang that had done him so much harm. After justifying himself to his fans, probably to improve his image, 6IX9INE proclaimed himself the greatest artist on the planet, humbly declaring that, "I am a living legend. I am the greatest artist in the world of provocations," far from the image of the ideal prisoner he had when he was incarcerated. However, this will remain forever in the history of the social network. And for a good reason. The video brought together nearly 2 million internet users, breaking the record for a live Instagram broadcast. So far held by the producers, Babyface and Teddy Riley, with about 400,000 hits. Since that record, the young rapper has won millions of new followers in Instagram. However, if in terms of numbers 6IX9INE has succeeded, his return is a hit on YouTube as well as on streaming platforms or Instagram, it is not the same on his private side. Since his release from prison, he has been trying to assume his superstar snitch status to the world and deal with the fact that his neighbors are also becoming snitches. Indeed, after having denounced a part of the Nine Trey True Blood gang to the justice, 6IX9INE is now forced to surround himself with close security, but also to be discreet so as not to become an easy prey. A duty that applies first and foremost to the address of his new place of residence, which is supposed to remain unknown to the general public. This was without relying on his neighbor, who preferred to do otherwise. She noticed him posing with bundles of money on her balcony. In the video she filmed, we can see the young woman burst out laughing when she said that 6IX9INE had moved into a house behind her house, while showing Tekashi easily recognizable by his rainbow haircut. Of course, she didn't miss the opportunity to disclose the star's address on social networks, becoming in turn a snitch. In the wake of this, some of her fans did not hesitate to go to the scene, and some even followed her on her travels, notably on board her Range Rover Orange. As it turned out, Daniel Hernández was not hiding in a bunker, but simply in a house in an upscale Hamptons neighborhood on Long Island. Some time after this revelation, Lance Lazzaro, 6IX9INE's lawyer, confirmed that his client was going to be transferred to a new place of residence, while taking care to inform the federal government. And as if that were not enough, 6IX9INE's new home, where he lived for only a few hours, was apparently also discovered on Monday the 11th of May. According to a video filmed by an internet user, in which several of his luxury vehicles that he boasted he owned in his Instagram were seen behind a portal, the situation was once again hidden. 6IX9INE had to move again, this time taking care to hide his vehicles in his garage. The rapper with the colored hair has decided to go on a tour of the state of New York, while he is threatened by dozens of people in the United States. Tekashi didn't take the trouble to protect himself properly. All the more so since another detail is widely questioned on the web, namely his close security. Indeed, the artist is only accompanied by a few guards who could quickly get into trouble in case of an assault. In other words, it will be necessary to be a little more discreet if the rapper wants to be able to get his peace of mind. It seems that selling out his gang has forced the young rapper to pay a high price. One even wonders if, one day, he will manage to live without fearing the revenge of the members of his former gang. Nevertheless, it is certain that Daniel Hernández does not regret having been a snitch. Especially since he is now out of prison and his career is obviously well underway. Now it's your turn to tell us in comment if 6IX9INE was right, in your opinion, to have snitched on his gang. Otherwise, it was Tupac who died on September 13, 1996 in Las Vegas. Since then, he has been considered an icon of American rap. I hope many of you found the right answer.